right, man. This episode of Summertime Rendering. Wow. Where do I even begin about what we saw this episode? There's been episodes in the past of this show that I'm like, I can't get better than this. This is the best episode of the season, or rather, best episode of the show. But time and time again, the show proved me wrong, and this was easily the best episode of the show. From just the love and dedication put into the production, art, animation, sound design, which I will definitely get into in a little bit because that was really unique, to the story, the build up, the choreography of this whole battle around the school. All right, let's start from the beginning. So we start off this episode learning a lot, and I mean a lot, about Shinpei's power and a little bit more about Shadow's power. So we learned the reason why Shinpei has been moving up in time, or rather the reason why his starting point has been moving up every time he loops. It's because there's a limit that's following him every time he loops, and it's pretty normal when he's in a loop, just, kind of behind him, and when he would die, he would return to the same spot over and over. The caveat is that the more times he dies, the faster that limit starts to move. So compared to his first loop versus his, let's say, fifth loop, that limit as he's in the loop is moving faster and faster and faster. Now when he dies, if it's moving fast enough to where it's faster than him, while he's looking for a place to start, when we see him in the between world, while he's looking for that place to start his loop from, that limit will eventually pass him, and he'll basically be stuck in that world forever. They come to the conclusion, or at least Shinpei comes to the assumption, that he has like one loop left. We also learned some stuff about shadows, where they can copy items, and how if there's some sort of projectile, it can only be shot up to 50 meters away. Basically, any copied item can only exist up to 50 meters away from the shadow. Now, then we just get straight into the fight scene between the shadows and our gang. So the fight's going on. You have Shadows versus Ryunosuke. You have Mio jumping in against Toki, Mio, and Sho. And you have Haine and Shide trying to chase after our beloved Shinpei. Now this fight, from start to finish, was just pure quality, 10 out of 10. Animation was fluid. The camera work was something that you rarely see in anime. And if I'm being honest, Steins Gate and Re:Zero just did not have this level of animation. Say what you want about the quality of the stories comparatively, that's a different issue, different subject of debate, but you can't argue that the animation in this show is like top tier, even compared to other anime from just this year. Bars. And it's not just the animation, the creative liberties that they take to make the experience so immersive is just something that's so special about anime in general, right? Like if you're reading the light novel, or I think the manga of Summertime Rendering, you're not gonna be able to experience it the way that you would if you're watching this anime. Seeing Shide's voice actor lag when he's talking as if he's like a corrupted program or something. Seeing the audio being muffled. I mean, I'm wearing headphones, so I think I'm experiencing it a little more. So if you didn't hear it, when the fire is raging on in the gymnasium and Haine makes the fire disappear, what she did basically was delete all the oxygen from the room, from the gymnasium, and that created a vacuum. And obviously fire can't exist without oxygen, so if there's no air in the room, there's no fire. Voila. Now, if you know anything about vacuums, all the air around a vacuum will get sucked into it. So all the air from the outside went crashing through the windows, breaking all the glass, and yeah. But when that happened, when there was no oxygen, obviously that means our characters can't breathe either. They made this effect in our ears where it was like muffled audio. I can't. It's just too good. Let's talk about the choreography of the fights a little more, right? So you have Shinpei running away from, obviously, Haine and Shide. And as they're chasing him, they have to go through the various supporting characters who are trying to protect him. I'm so glad Nezu got his redemption, because he got done dirty last episode, so definitely got to point that out. Hizuru, Ryunosuke, obviously always doing her thing. She's always the rock of this group, regardless if she gets clapped in a loop or whatever it is. She's always there to put in work, so you gotta respect that. So the way Shinpei's running through the school, running past different checkpoints with different characters, eventually getting to the gymnasium, it's kind of like they're luring them into there, and obviously they were. Ushio, wow, just put on a complete display, just put on a whole show, showcasing her powers, turning hair into gasoline, into fire, into guns, into even herself at times, pulling a shadow clone jutsu, actually developing her powers of erasing now that she knows, hey, wait a minute, I'm actually stronger than I thought. I might be able to erase these guys. And she was so close to erasing Shide, but obviously, you know, still got 10 episodes left, so we can't just kill off the main villains right away. But even though she wasn't able to kill Haine and Shide, we did actually learn a little bit about who Shide might be. There's a human inside of him. So what's going on with that? Is it a vessel? Is it someone we know? I'm not done with Ushio yet. She can apparently, and this is something we kind of knew from the cave incident, she can start to counteract Haine's abilities to the point where she can sever the connection between shadows under her control. She did that with the big babies, Roz and the other one's name, which, oh, they were putting in some serious work, I'm not gonna lie. Now she's trying to sever the connection with Mio. Episode ended right there, so we'll probably see that next week. But yeah, I think that basically covered everything I wanted to cover. I could go on and on for days about how beautiful this episode looked. The animation, the camera work, the audio, the voice acting, Haine's voice acting especially, that was really good. I really like the voice actor for that. I love a villain who's just batshit crazy, right? And Haine is definitely that. Not afraid to put on a fake face. She was crying on the ground begging for forgiveness or begging for mercy. So yeah, man, Summertime Rendering episode 15, the best episode of the series, and an episode that I'm gonna remember probably for the rest of the year, if not forever. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode down below in the comments. If you guys enjoy this beautiful masterpiece of an episode, just pure art, drop a like, hit that sub button, and I will catch you guys on the next week's episode of Summertime Rendering. Peace.